4th and 1, we sneaky when we slide them. Y'all on offense with no defense, now y'all time is up. We make the hits, y'all take the hits, and now we fired up. 3, 2, 1, don't need no break. Hut 1, hut 2, give it straight, that's how I like it. And we grind it every night to make it hit, now it's exciting. See, they just getting cake, they ain't never gonna get no ice. And all we want is chips, ring fingers looking ice. My day ones had to dance at the beginning. So you know it's only right, that's how we end it. Came all the way from losing to winning. Yeah, I did it. But it ain't just me, it's the whole team. Share it with the whole team. Congratulate the whole team. Cause when you riding like we riding with each other, ain't no I in this. It's the whole team. Share it with the whole team. Congratulate the whole team. Cause when you riding like we riding with each other, ain't no I in this. See, we came up from the bottom, me and squad got it. And we made it through them problems, now it's God body. We eat, sleep, breathe this. Wave till they see sick. Do it right the first time, they all try to remix. Yeah, they grinded, but we grinded different. Tell them they time is ticking, but we time a fish. Bet not leave a minute, stop it. Something like the goat off in that pocket. Whole squizzy riding with me, who gon' stop it? My day ones had to dance at the beginning. So you know it's only right, that's how we end it. Came all the way from losing to winning. Yeah, I did it. But it ain't just me, it's the whole team. Share it with the whole team. Congratulate the whole team. Cause when you riding like we riding with each other, ain't no I in this. It's the whole team. Share it with the whole team. Congratulate the whole team. Cause when you riding like we riding with each other, ain't no I in this.
Well, there's never a shortage of shows or sights and sounds throughout this city, but for the next few hours, all eyes are glued to Allegiant Stadium here in Las Vegas.
Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the New England Patriots and the Las Vegas Raiders.
And we are underway at Allegiant Stadium. This will be a return from deep in the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the... A good one.
At their own 18-yard line.
Set. 8. 20.
They defer to Brown to start the drive. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Now whistles and the Raiders are going to signal for a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Second and 10.
Right back to Brown. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
Well, this defense for the Raiders, they were terrific last week in the win over the Rams.
And the way they did it was by getting after the quarterback. Sacked him 7 times in that game. Came from all angles, created a lot of illusion. illusions, and especially just beat them man for man. That's the kind of defense that really frustrates an opponent.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect.
That was the first third down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key third down throws.
Here we go on fourth. Newton. It's good. And it's a fumble. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. And without a doubt, not the way they pictured that opening drive unfolding.
No, they were making progress. They weren't exactly in high gear, but they were making a few yards along the way. And now that they've coughed it up, they've got to go back to the sidelines and regroup a little bit.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
All right. Go to 50. Hey, you block over here. Land.
Now after the fumble recovery, it's Rodgers.
And this is into the hands of Andrews downfield.
And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10.
Play action. Now it's Rodgers. This is caught. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. Another 1st down as they call his number again. He's got 15 yards here.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover. And they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
1st and goal, a chance to convert that early turnover into points.
And they'll turn to the power game to try to get in. And he's in. Touchdown, Raiders. A great effort there.
With his 9th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Raiders use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one. Extra point by Sly is up and good.
And it's now a 7-0 game.
Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown.
And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. The Pats at the line, ready to go.
And there, of course, was a lot of talk about this ball game coming into play. 2 division leaders in the AFC. Could this be a potential playoff preview down the line?
Yeah, and I think when you talk about the talk about this game coming into play, you're talking about me because I blew up your phone all week prior to this one. I was so excited about this game because to me, it's not out of the realm of possibility that these two teams see each other again down the road. I like this matchup. They match up very well against each other.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
Well, sometimes the defense just beats you. Great coverage from the secondary, all of them in the proper position. So instead of trying to throw into tight coverage, he found a way to throw it away and come back and try again the next down.
And some space here. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. A big hitter there. A 1st down gain of 26 yards.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to. They didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, and it created a big run. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. Newton.
Well, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Tariq Woolen picks it, and the Raiders are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long, because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
So after the INT, it's Rodgers. Looking right side, and that's complete to Watkins. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down. Now a play fake. Rodgers. Flushed out right. On the run. He'll let this go deep right side. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown.
Slide for the PAT.
And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead.
Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
The Pats at the line, ready to go.
As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. It's going to be a jet sweep. Newton bats it forward. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. To throw is Newton.
He'll look underneath and finds Brown. And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 37-yard line. An inside give, Brown. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd.
So now after the sack, Cam of the Patriots going to look up at a 3rd and long.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. That'll be caught. It's Kupp.
And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Already down 2 scores. They're going to go for this rather than settle for 3.
They snap it to Newton. A hit as he throws, and this is going to be incomplete. The Patriots come up empty on 4th down. And the Raider D, they get the football back. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
26.
Now Rodgers.
Now swing pass for Dillon.
And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
To throw again on second down. Rodgers. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a first down as well. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Rodgers tapping this forward on the jet sweep. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. Give him a first down, 15 yards that time for the Raiders. Throwing is Rodgers. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
This offense, Charles, we've talked about how well they played all season. Sitting now at 13-0 with a finish line for a perfect regular season. That's in sight. Some in the media this week were pointing back to the 07 Patriots. Of course, remember, they finished the regular season unbeaten, but
looking for Watkins, and it's intercepted.
And the Pats are going to get it back here just past the 35. So the interception there, and Charles, I'd imagine that's something you can maybe live with in December, but not come January.
And I love how you make the distinction there. You're talking about regular season versus the postseason, the playoffs. Because these guys, they've already clinched a playoff spot, but they know, looking ahead, when they get into the postseason, they've got to take better care of the football because turnovers in that situation, they really become magnified.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. They fake the give. Newton.
And this throw incomplete. The defender all over it that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down.
A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
Now, meanwhile, they go for it on 4th down, and my goodness, incomplete. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And the Raiders with the football now in excellent field position. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. On play action, it's Rodgers. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. It'll be a gain of 5, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Rodgers now to throw. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there.
That kick, by the way, Charles, a career long.
Well, we did watch him in pregame, and he hit from this distance, so not a surprise. but there still is something exciting about it, carrying it over from practice and pregame to actually doing it in live action.
And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. At the line, ready to go. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but hold on,
okay,
you're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
And he's got Rome. And all the way in. Touchdown, New England. Maybe that is the boost that this offense needed.
They've done nothing the entire half, but out of the blue comes this big shot here. You're exactly right. Like a dunk in basketball, like a home run in baseball, maybe a solo shot. Sometimes you need that big play to get things ignited.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. They've had a very solid first half, and as we near the end of that first half, they're just looking for a little more on top of their lead right now.
And when you put together a game plan on offense, you put together what you think is going to be the best possible scenario.
He rifles one that's intercepted. And the Patriots are going to take possession of the football. So they tried to take the deep shot there, but this defense up to the task.
And a lot of times when you air a ball out like this, if it does get intercepted, there's going to be a lot of space out there to set up a return. And remember, you've got 5 big offensive linemen out there playing on their feet in open space. Not a skill most of them possess. That allows for extra yardage on the return.
It's complete to Fitzgerald. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll give this out the middle to Brown. And he is going to lose yardage here. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. Now from the 7, here's second and goal. They keep it on the ground. Again, it's Brown. And he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play. Now the defense will burn their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Now Newton on third and goal. And it's caught. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. So a decision to make there. They decline the penalty as they'd rather force the 4th down. On 4th down, Newton. And it'll be intercepted. And the Raiders are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Well, Charles, certainly circle that play. We might have to revisit it later. They had 3 in their back pocket. They go for it on 4th and goal and throw the pick.
Well, you know, we're still in the first half. A bold call nonetheless. And I guess the book might have said take the 3, but it looks like they burned the book and just said, give me the analytics. And the analytics said, go for it. Didn't work out.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. They fake the give. Now Rodgers. He's going to take another shot here. And that's caught inside the 35. And he quickly clocks it, and they're going to have a good shot at getting 3 here before the break.
So we have reached halftime here in Vegas with the Raiders on top.
As we send you to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach? Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Raiders with the lead already, and they will get the football here as the second half is now underway. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
He's got a man complete.
And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas.
And we didn't even get a chance to settle in for that drive. A quick strike of 75 yards, and they find the end zone.
Don't you get the sense that film study was behind this one, that they saw something that they thought they could take advantage of? The key is calling it in the right situation. Knowing when it exists to go to it, they did exactly that. They've got to feel really good about what they did in advance of this game.
Just looking down at the sideline now, their defense is like, man, can you have strung that out just a few plays, give us a break? Back out there.
Hey, man, give that water break and get on out there and play.
And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Pats at the line, ready to go.
Now a play fake, and it's Newton. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
This is Brown going up the middle. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now Newton. And look at this. Cam Newton intercepted a 3rd time.
Tariq Woolen picks it, and the Raiders are going to take possession of the football. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14.
This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers.
Touchdown Raiders! A great play there with touchdown number 8 on the year, as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead.
Extra point by Sly is up and good.
And the lead is now 24.
Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20.
The Pats at the line, ready to go.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more.
First down, New England.
On the handoff, this is Brown. It's a room to maneuver. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield.
119 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
He's done his part sailing past the century mark on the ground with rushing yardage, but his team, a different story.
Yeah, they're down big in this ball game, so sometimes you wonder to yourself, how much of that is him with a great performance, and how much of that is the defense just loosening up.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception.
Tariq Woolen picks it, and the Raiders are going to take possession here at their own 33.
Yes, folks, that is his 3rd interception, and I'm going to use one of the most overused phrases in football. He's a ball-hawking safety.
I love the way that you called for the shot there. That's perfect, though, because there is something to that. Being a safety often allows you freedom to roam around the defense, maybe not a specific assignment. Today, his assignment, find the football, and he's done so quite well.
3rd quarter from Southern Nevada. Here's a 2nd and 10.
Here's Rodgers to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Watkins. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Rodgers looking to throw on 3rd and 2. Again, that's Watkins. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. The drive stays alive. A 3rd down gain of 8.
First and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Hey, 88. Box it.
Rodgers again now. He's got his man. It's Andrews.
And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line. So 1st and 10. And if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second-half blowout material.
First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line.
First and 10 at the 15-yard line.
Into the red zone, it's Rodgers. And that'll be caught by the big tight end, Andrews. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Brings up 2nd and 1 at the 6-yard line.
A give to the fullback on the dive. And he stopped immediately there. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. Keep in mind, if you're thinking of staying on the ground, this is a top 5 rush defense.
Yeah, but I don't think you shy away totally with the run. At least show them the hint of a run before you decide to throw the football.
And the Raiders are in for 6. Touchdown. 4 touchdown passes now for Aaron Rodgers.
And the Raiders get another 3rd quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. Extra point by Sly is up and good.
1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Sly set to boot it. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The Pats at the line, ready to go. Their mini two-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat.
Throwing to start the drive, but that went incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
New England on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Newton. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sand.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
Returning is Peppers. It's a 45-yard punt, just a 1-yard return.
And it'll be Raiders football, 1st and 10. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I
we share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be a hard parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season.
Now this one complete downfield on the left side. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. He's got Lewis.
And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 11-yard line.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Rodgers. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
But their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock.
And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown.
Another touchdown here in the 4th quarter. And, Charles, I think we can start to consider that this undefeated streak of theirs is going to be safe for another week.
And, partner, you don't make it this far into a season without a loss unless you're getting contributions from both sides of the ball and sometimes even your special teams. And that's been true today. Each side helping guide them to this late lead.
Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. This will be returned from deep in the end zone. And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Pats at the line, ready to go.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Off play action, Newton. And that is incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops from one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Desperation time. Newton, fourth down. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Patriots come up empty on fourth down. And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
Throwing now is Rodgers. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
It's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
150. Hey, you block over here. 26.
Now Rodgers. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
Sly on for the extra point.
And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead.
Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
The Pats at the line, ready to go.
Well, CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is end the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, partner, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on when you get back to practice in the next couple of days.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Handing it off to Brown. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
142 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's going on.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Here's a give to Brown. And this will be taken across midfield and into Raider territory. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. They give it to Brown. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass. But in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right. It might go to them in this game.
I like that, MVU. Well done.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. They'll try the air now with Newton. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big. Lutz good on the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one. It's through the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. And they've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the fourth quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted. So they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these.
And this is caught. And he takes it in for the score on the game's final play, so it doesn't affect the outcome. But a little whipped cream on top to their ending.
Or as our friends in Bayou Country would say, that's a little lagniappe, a little extra on top.
Well, fans usually love to see scoring, and there was no shortage of it today. What a dominant show.